Hello and welcome to episode 407 of the Daily Sales Message Podcast, where every single day I share a piece of simple, actionable advice that's designed to help you feel more confident and sell more stuff too. In today's episode, we're talking about telling people off. Telling people off in a sales scenario sounds ridiculous, but I've seen this done. I've actually seen this done where somebody, a salesperson will say to a buyer, I sent you that email. Didn't you get that email? Or they become kind of short with them. They lose their patience with them and they lose their respect, most importantly. And they forget that the buyer is the most important person in the relationship and we need to respect them and be polite to them. But they break that bond. They break that barrier because they're frustrated. Oh, did you get that email? I sent that to you. No, as per my last email, James, this is what blah, blah, blah. They let the stresses and strains of sales and their job and whatever's going on for them seep into their relationship with the buyer. And they end up kind of telling off the buyer, being rude to them and short with them without even realizing it necessarily. But they break one of the cardinal rules of sales and selling, which is to respect the buyer at all times. The buyer isn't always right, but they are always first. Something I talk about a lot with my clients and students. The buyer isn't always right, but they are always first. We have to respect them. We have to give them priority. So if you lose your temper and you tell somebody off, and it could be even in a surreptitious way, even these kind of passive aggressive things, as per my last email, this kind of stuff, and you kind of know when you're doing that because you can feel that passive aggression oozing out of you as you do that. Well, I can anyway. And you do that kind of stuff. It's just deadly because it's going to really turn off the buyer. It's going to sour the relationship and it's just completely fruitless exercise. Maybe in the moment for a second, you might feel a bit better because you vented and I sent you that email. Oh, good. Oh, I'll do that then or whatever it is. So in that moment, in that second, you may feel some relief because you've vented your emotion, but long term, it's deadly for the relationship. So as ridiculous as it might sound, please don't tell off your buyer. Please don't be rude to them. Respect them at all times. Give them priority. They're not always right, so we can respectfully challenge them. But the buyer is always first. So we have to respect them and put their needs at the forefront of everything that we do. Right, that's it for this episode of the podcast. Tomorrow in episode 408, we're going to be talking about problems and the timeline of problems and what that means for you in a selling scenario. So tune in tomorrow for that. In the meantime, if you haven't already, please hop on over to LinkedIn. You'll find me there, James Newell, Clear Sales Message. Connect with me, shoot me a DM, ask me a question, and I'll cover it on a future episode of the podcast. Thank you for listening and watching all the way to the end. I appreciate it. I'll catch you tomorrow for another exciting edition of the Daily Sales Message.